Histroy. Okay. About 100,000 verses. Some say that the original had only around 30,000 and then it was expanded later. But basically, right now, as we know, it has 100,000 verses. And sage Vyasa composed the Mahabharata, and as the picture depicts, Lord Ganesha wrote it down. This is supposed to have happened in cave. You know what cave that is? Okay, it's called a Naranara Guha. It's in Badrinath. And opposite that cave, you have the two peaks. Okay? Even today, if you go and see, I am not gone, but those of you who are adventurous enough to climb up on the Himalayas and go and see, I am too young for such things. There are two peaks there, called Nara and Narayana, the two peaks there. And the Mahabharata, every canto of the Mahabharata starts with prostration to Nara and Narayana. Let the word Jaya be uttered. That is how it starts. Jaya was what is Jaya? Jaya was the original name for the Mahabharata. It's called Mahabharata because it is the great depiction of Bharatavarsha, of the Bharata people, of the history of those times. So it's called Mahabharata. But the real name for Mahabharata is Jaya, which is victory. Victory of Dharma over Adharma, victory over good over evil, okay, victory of our higher self over our lower self, etc. It is too vast to be covered in 1 hour, or 1 day, or 1 year, or maybe even one lifetime. It needs a tremendous scholar who knows Sanskrit, who knows science, who knows history, who knows different things to be able to fully grasp the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata, as you all know the main story, of course you all know the main story. I am not even going to go there. You all know the main story. It's the story of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. But the Mahabharata book itself is not just the main story. It contains incredible number of side stories, which maybe sometimes is even more interesting than the main story itself. The main story consists of what? Two cousins fighting over a piece of land and they end up killing each other. That's kind of common. But the setting is fantastic. And then of course the climax. What is the climax? What is the climax? What is the most important thing you should take away from the Mahabharata? The Mahabharata is a necklace of beads. There is a beautiful pendant in it, the diamond pendant, studded in gold. What is that? What is it? What is the most important thing you should take from the Mahabharata? What? Tell me, come on. Genetics. No, not the gambling incident, no. What is the main thing? Okay, wait, actually, that's a wrong question because, agree, that's a wrong question because for different people, different things will be the main things they take in. But generally, okay, you probably took away gambling. Oh, very good. Don't gamble, please. But what is the main thing? What is the main philosophical essence of the Mahabharata? The Gita, obviously. The Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is the main essence of the teachings of the Mahabharata. In fact, one can almost say that the entire structure is just to bring Gita out. Notice, the entire structure is, you set this diamond in gold, in a chain, right? You don't set it among normal stones because you want the diamond to sparkle, isn't it? So the Mahabharata is like this gold chain and Gita is the diamond embedded in it. And one can almost say, but again, the Bhagavad Gita itself is another vast topic. There are scholars and books and commentaries written for thousands of years. So the Mahabharata is too vast to be talked of so easily. But there are two things about it I just want to say a little bit. One is, I said, it's a piece of history. Okay? It's a piece of history. None of you objected to that. But nowadays in mainstream education, people say that the Mahabharata is legend. Right? Mahabharata is not a legend. It's a piece of history. Because there is, along with different, see in the Mahabharata, there is a statement about the Mahabharata which Vyasa himself writes. He says, what is here in this Mahabharata may be elsewhere, but what is not here is nowhere else. Because almost every subject known to man is touched on in the Mahabharata. You have cloning there. You have biotech fellows there. You have cloning. Yeah, you have genetic cloning. How did this 100 Kauravas come? You have test tube babies. Yeah, you have cloning there. You have all sorts of biological experiments there. I won't go through. Yeah, you do. There is genetics talked about in the Mahabharata. There is cyber security talked about in the Mahabharata. There is cold signals using lanterns and all that talked of in the Mahabharata. There's astronomy talked of in Mahabharata. There's philosophy, of course, and different sciences. Okay, and tremendous philosophy. I'll tell you one or two side stories to let you know how beautiful it is. But before that, I'll take a brief 5 minutes to tell you why it was history. You see, what happened was that I'll repeat this again and again and again. Wherever I go, I repeat this. I think it's important for you to know. It is important for you to know this. First of all, as an Indian, in February 1835. Secondly, okay, as an Amrita in the English Parliament, Lord Macaulay also passed this comment. And we don't know if he passed his exact comment, but this pretty much was what he had in mind and pretty much what the British did. Maybe some of you already know what I'm going to say. He said, I travelled through the length and breadth of India, and I find a culture, a people so moral, so ethical, so proud of their culture, so secure. I don't find a single thief or a beggar. It's a wonderful country. The only way if we can dominate is if we take away their ideas and substitute it with ours. If we make them think that everything Indian is bad and superstitious and everything English is better, if we supplant their education with English education, we take away their culture, then we break their backbone, and we'll make them what we truly want them to be, a truly dominated nation. That's exactly what Macaulay's philosophy was, and exactly what the English set about doing. So in 2 generations, they cut the tradition of education that we had, which is exactly why I am talking to you in English right now and not in Sanskrit. Even though Sanskrit is a far more perfect language, is only computerizable language, only programmable language. Berkeley is using Sanskrit. Germany and England are using Sanskrit, but we Indians, we are not. Why? Because of our colonial past. The reason I am talking to you in Sanskrit, 2 reasons are there. One, I don't know Sanskrit, and 2, you don't know Sanskrit. Why don't we know our own basic mother tongue? Even our local mother tongues, we don't know enough. We don't know enough of our culture. In Japan, they have their keyboards made in Japanese, their books are in Japanese. Nobody can say Japan is not advanced. Japan is technologically more advanced than any country on earth. Right? But we don't know our culture. How many Malayalis are here? Oh, almost all. How many of you know about Vararuchi? How many of you know about Editachan or Outing? How many of you know about, have you read any of these works? Have you read Narayani? Exactly. I rest my case. How many of you know Da Vinci Code? Exactly. How many of you, exactly. How many of you know, what is that latest movie that came? Recently, a famous English movie? Precisely. I don't even know what the movie, exactly. I rest my case. See? How many, any Telugu people here? Good. That's the problem. Do you know Annamacharya? Good. Have you studied that? So what happens is our culture was cut in our education system, which is why what is history was considered legend. We call this Itihasa. Mahabharata and Ramayana was Itihasa, means history. Oh, I keep walking around up and down. Maybe you will find it difficult to videotape me. That's okay, unless you do that. Well, so we call it Itihasa. History. So we have Veda, Shastra, Purana, Itihasa. Vedas you all know. Shastra is the rules. Purana is the stories. Vyasa also wrote the Puranas. And the Bhagavata Purana for us. It's a story. It's very clear distinction between the story, a story which is supposed to convey a message, maybe an imaginary story, maybe an allegorical story, maybe a symbolic story, but a story. That's a Purana. And Itihasa is history, is not a story. Hari sir, is he history or story? History is true. Look, Look, turn back and see. Exactly. He's shining, beautiful face. I can't say my face is not shining because I just came out of the Kurukshetra. I can't have a shining face. But anyway, coming back to the point. How do you know that I exist or Hari sir exists 50 years down the road when I won't be around? He'll be there. 50 years down the road when I am not around, and people will ask you, what's your name, Gambling sir? Smaran. People ask Smaran, Smaran, is it true that you met the wonderful Bala sir? They'll ask. It's a joke. And he'll say, yes, I've met Bala sir. How do you know? I mean, how do you know he existed? I will see him, right? I have seen him, I have talked to him. I suffered sitting 1 hour in his class waiting for him to shut up and go. So I know he existed. What do you mean? What is the proof of existence? Contemporary evidence. Okay? That's the proof. Do you understand? How do you know Bala sir existed? I have seen him, I have talked to him. I have WhatsApp message from him. I have you understand? How do you know Bipin sir exists? He's downstairs, go see him. Okay? Exactly. How do you know, how many of you consider Alexander the Great as history? How many of you consider Akbar as history? Or Aurangzeb as history? Alexander the Great as history? That's all. All of you failed history, eh? How many of you feel Alexander, have you studied about Alexander the Great in history class? All of you feel that he's history? No, raise your hands. All of you should raise your hands because you've all studied Alexander the Great in history. Exactly. Okay. All of you feel Alexander the Great is history. Have you seen him? Okay. Did he send you a WhatsApp message? Don't have his. There's no contemporary. What do you rely on? Contemporary evidence. The historian says Alexander existed. He came from that country to this country. He killed so many people, etc., etc. Right? And therefore is history. In that case, Vyasa says Krishna existed. These are the places he visited. These are what he did. These are the clan of kings that was there. These are the two families. These are the generations. 36 generations is written down in Mahabharata. The names of the generations are written down. These are the people there. This is Hastinapura. This is Indraprastha. This is Kurukshetra. This is Mathura. This is Dwaraka. This is Kandahar. Gandhari. Gandhari came from what is Afghanistan, present Afghanistan today. Kandahar. This is there. The geography is there. The roots are there. The map is there. The work Bhagavad Gita is left behind. Mahabharata itself is left behind. The philosophical effect on society is there. The effect it has had on millions of people for thousands of years is there. But yet we say it is a legend. What nonsense, it is not a legend, it is history. Why was it called a legend? Because to make you understand that your past is all superstitious and silly and then only they can dominate you. That's exactly why what is perfectly a historical work was considered legend. We now read Ramayana and Mahabharata legend. I am going to prove it to you in the next 10 minutes. In the next 10 minutes, I want to give more than 10 minutes. Why the Mahabharata was real. I will prove it to you. At least this much I will do. I will show you that there is enough astronomical evidence for the Mahabharata. And there's enough overall evidence for the Mahabharata, perhaps even more than for Alexander the Great, or even more than Akbar. Okay? But yet we say Alexander the Great is history and Mahabharata is legend. That's because of our colonial past. It's our colonial past, which is our colonial past is still affecting us. That's why girls go and buy fairness cream, not darkness cream. It's much healthier to have dark skin. You biotech fellows should know that, right? Than an anemic, pale, emaciated white skin. Okay? But yet, why is it fairness cream? Fairness. Who said fairness is better? No, dark. Krishna is dark. Black is beautiful. Okay? Krishna was dark. Devi is dark. Rama was dark. I am dark and you are dark. Let's be proud of that. Okay? Good. Now, so, coming back to the point. You see, the Indian calendar system, I tell you, we follow what is called nowadays, I'm going to come to the point in a minute. We follow what is called the Gregorian calendar. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why it's kind of wrong. It's kind of wrong. It's not wrong. I don't mean it's wrong. What I mean is it's not as accurate as the Indian Panchangam that we follow. You see, in India, we follow two systems. We not only track the position of the sun, we also track the position of the moon, which is exactly how we have Nakshatra. So we celebrate Nal, right? We celebrate Parannad, that is the day of the star. See, the reason is this. The reason is, okay, now let me get to the board, I will show you in just 2 minutes. This was, by the way, research done by, what happened? This was research done by Professor Narahari Achar. He is a HOD of physics in the University of Memphis, Tennessee. Okay? You can go and check up on YouTube. There are several scholars who are saying the same thing nowadays. There is still some discrepancy over the dates, but I tend to believe that Professor Narahari Achar is the correct one, because there is too much evidence for that. He has taken the astronomical evidence of the Mahabharata, he's used the stellarium software, and he has backtracked upon that. He has backtracked upon the software, and then you get a particular date. Do you understand? So, I'll now show you a little bit. I'll start a little bit, I'll explain to you the basic principles of Indian astronomy, and then after that I will be proving to you why the Mahabharata is history, and I will also tell you the date, November 23rd, 3067 BC. November 24, 3067 BC. That was the day the Mahabharata war started, and I'll show you that to you. Give me 5 minutes. You see, in India we have this system. Okay? What happened? It's too warm, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. In India,
so what is the date?
Number 24, 3067 BC. 3067 BC, which is around 5000 years. So if you take our Panchangam calendar, they say that we live in Kali Yuga, which is a very bad age, which is obvious. Go read a newspaper and you will know we are living in. And then they say it started around 5000 years ago. Okay? They say that our Kali Yuga started around 5000 years ago when Krishna left. Okay, the moment Krishna left, Kali Yuga started. And that the Mahabharata war took place in the Dasa Sandhi, that is between the end of the previous Yuga and the start of this Yuga. So Dwapara Yuga was ending, Kali Yuga starting in that. So you know that according to the Indian calendar, it's around 5000 years back. And in fact, our Indian calendar is based on that. We have a Kali Yuga calendar. We are in this many year, 5000 some years. This is the 5000 something year, 100th year or something like that, the Kali Yuga. So, you know it started around 5000 years ago, according to the Indian calendar. But I'm going to tell you why the Indian way of keeping time, astronomically, was perhaps better than the Gregorian way, the Western way that we are all used to. You see, the thing is, okay, this is the Earth, okay? From the point of view of the Earth, of course, we all know that the Earth moves around the Sun and all that stuff. But from the point of view of the Earth, right, it looks like the Sun is moving around us, and all the stars are also moving around us, and all the planets are also moving around us. It looks like that in one plane. You see, the Sun, all the planets move around the Sun in the same plane, with a time period T square is proportional to A cube. For those of you who remember Kepler's laws from 10th standard or whatever. Okay? So, this is the point of view of the Earth. So, seen from the point of view of the Earth, the Sun goes around it, okay? This is the Sun. And from the point of view of the Earth, the Moon also goes around it, okay? I am going to draw the Moon. Okay? Moon is much closer to the Earth than the Sun. Now, they go around, and from the point of view of the Earth, there are 12 fixed signs, constellations. These are your 12 zodiac signs. Your Mesham, Mithunam, Meenam, all that stuff, right? The Pisces, Aries, Taurus, all that stuff. So these are us. So now let's assume, okay? Now let's assume that, for example, they say that a particular day, what's your date of birth? 8 what?
2nd July.
2nd July. Okay. 2nd July. His date of birth is 2nd July. Which year were you born? 1990? 90? Oh, you were born only yesterday. Okay. 1999. Okay. Now, I get it. So, okay. But then, do you know what is your nakshatra? You don't. Okay, then I'll give you my example. Okay. So, I was supposed to be born on March 6th. Okay. On a particular year, 1968. Okay. Born on March 6th, Rohini nakshatra. What it means is, see, listen to me carefully. So, with respect to the Earth, the Sun goes against one of these signs once a month. Okay, that is your Shankarantis. They go. The Sun moves from Pisces to Taurus to etc. 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 It goes around. Okay. The Moon goes around the Earth once in 27 days. Okay. So every day it goes, so when the moon goes around the earth, it is seen against, from the point of view of the earth, it looks as if it is against a particular star. It's not near the star is millions of light years away. But still it looks, from the point of view of the earth, it looks like the moon is near a particular star. So that is your nakshatra for the day. Do you understand? So I was born, let's say March 6th, 1968. When I was born, the sun was here in Aquarius, okay? And the moon was here near the constellation of Rohini. So therefore they say my nakshatra is Rohini. And I was born in the month of March. So when the sun is in Aquarius, it is in Kumbha Masam. And so Kumbha Masam, Rohini nakshatra, 2 points are there. So March 6, 1960. Now, the next year on March 6, again we celebrate my birthday, right? You guys celebrate your birthdays every June 10th or whatever your birthday is. The problem with that is, the next year, the sun is back to the place, agreed, and you're celebrating a birthday, but the moon is not back. Moon need not be back on that particular day, because the moon doesn't take 365 days, moon takes 27 days to go around Earth. Right? The moon takes 27 days to go around Earth. The moon months are slightly different from the solar months. So when you celebrate, let's say you're born on June 10th, next year again on June 10th you celebrate, no, but the moon is not back to the original point. The moon may be somewhere else. It is not an accurate representation of the heavens when you are born. So what you should do is, you should wait for the sun to come here, and you should wait for the moon also to come back there in that month. Then you celebrate your birthday. So then what happens, you have fixed 2 points in space. Do you understand? You fix 2 points in space with respect to the earth. So that is a more accurate representation of the heavens as it was when you were born. That is why our system, our calendar system is more accurate, because we go by nakshatra. Every day, no nakshatra is there. 27 days, 27. That's why we have 27 main nakshatras. Why 27? Because the moon is seen against them. Because the moon takes 27 days to go, every day it's seen against one nakshatra. So those are the 27 main nakshatrams that we consider. Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, Maghiram, all that stuff. Right? Of course, there are millions of stars. What is relevant to us is that these 27 stars go against these signs. They all belong to one constellation. That's why we consider these 12 zodiacs. That was the first point. The second point is, I'll tell you. If you see in the present day newspaper, they say astrological sign, they say you are Aquarius. March 6th, if you see my date, they say I am Pisces, right? But that's wrong. I'm actually Aquarius, because in the Western calendar, what happens is the Earth, okay, I'll show you this. The Earth rotates around its axis like this. It actually doesn't rotate like this, it rotates like this. It precesses. Not only it rotates, the axis of rotation also rotates. It precesses like a top. Which means the pole star, which is above the earth, changes every 20,000 years. After 20,000 years, the earth is like this. After 20,000 years, the earth is like that. You understand? The pole star itself, it is called dhruvam, means fixed. Actually, it's not fixed. Only for 20,000 years, it's fixed. After that, it changes. You understand? The Vedic astrologers, Vedic astronomers knew this. So the sun was in Aries around 2,000 years ago in April. So based on that, they think April is Aries, then Taurus, etc. But that's wrong, because the Earth's axis is shifted. It has now, the sun was in Pisces in March 2000 years ago. So if you take today's newspaper, they will say March, Pisces. No. When I was born in March, the sun is in Aquarius, not in Pisces. Vedically, we correct it by one sign. Our Vedic astrology, actually astronomy was more accurate. So anyway, so that is the second mistake in the West. So now this is the basic stuff you need to know. Okay. So then what they do is, in the southern system, I'm going to show you the southern system. They draw the chart like this. They draw the chart like this. You may have seen. Can I have another marker? Okay. They draw the system like this, okay? So this is Taurus, this is Aries, this is Taurus, this is Gemini, this is Cancer, this is Leo, this is Virgo, this is Libra, this is Scorpio, this is Sagittarius, this is, what is that? Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. This is the way they draw it. Okay, this is the way they talk. Now let's get to the Mahabharata. Now Vyasa is constantly telling Dhritarashtra. He's seeing the signs, he's seeing the sky, he's saying this planet is like that planet is like that means it is so bad, tell your stupid son to make peace, otherwise there will be war. He's constantly warning Dhritarashtra. You know Dhritarashtra is the father of the villain, right? Father. Dhritarashtra is the father of the villain. Who is the villain in the Mahabharata? Duryodhana. Actually the villain is Dhritarashtra. Because he let his Putra Moham to cloud his intelligence. He is the actual villain. That's why he is depicted as blind. Anyway, there's a deep inner meaning for the Mahabharata, which I will talk to you in a little bit. So what happens? Vyasa is constantly telling. So he says, the first thing was, he says Saturn is in Taurus. Now that is a big clue. Saturn is in Taurus. Now Saturn takes 30 years to go around the sun. Okay? How many years we take to go around the sun? 1 year. Brilliant. We take 1 year to go around the sun. Saturn takes 30 years to go around the sun. So now, again, I remind you of this. This is the Earth, and seen from this is the sun, this is the moon, and these are the planets, outer planets, seen from the point of view of the Earth. So they all go, every month they are moving. See, if they take 30 years to go around, they take 30 years to go. Saturn takes 30 years to go around the sun. What it means, there are 12 signs. Right, there are 12 signs. So how many years will it take per sign?
360.
No. Per sign of Saturn takes 30 years to go around the sun. So it takes, from the point of view of Earth, it takes 30 years to go around us. So there are 12 zodiac signs. So 30 by 12 is how much? 2.5. That's why it takes 2.5 years to go around the sun. That's how you get the Sade Sati. You have this famous Sade Sati which everybody is afraid of, right? When Saturn comes near your moon, you have 2.5 years before it comes to the moon, 2.5 years on the sign where your moon is, and 2.5 after that. Totally Sade Sati, right? Ayarasani they say, right? Remember, you may have heard, ask your moms, what is Ayarasani? Okay, that's the Ayarasani, don't worry about it. So Saturn takes 30 years to go around the sun, which means in 1945, in the Second World War time, Saturn was in Taurus. They say that when Saturn is in Taurus, it creates a lot of trouble. So that means every 30 years it creates trouble. Okay. So what it means is we need a year in which Saturn was in Taurus. Okay. Vyasa says Saturn was in Taurus. So every 30 years Saturn is in Taurus. So we backtrack from 1945. So n number of years. Okay. Then there's something other interesting thing there. Not only Saturn is in Taurus, he says, Vyasa says, Mars is retrograde in Scorpio. Okay? He says, Dhritarashtra, Mars is retrograde in Scorpio. Mars retrograde means what? I'll show you. See, this is the sun, this is the earth going around us, this is Mars going around the earth, around the sun. Okay? So what happens is, the earth goes faster than Mars because the gravitational power is more. Earth is an inner planet. So at some point, Earth will overtake Mars. It will look as if it's going backward. Every year it happens. Every year outer planets go retrograde. That's so Mars, Jupiter and Saturn always go retrograde every year. Right now Jupiter is going backwards. You can check. Go up in the night sky and check the position of Jupiter. You can see. So Mars, he says, was retrograde in Scorpio. So now, one more. So you filter it. So you have a year in which Saturn is in Taurus. You have a second year in which Mars is retrograde. But there's another interesting thing. In the Mahabharata, you have 2 eclipses. Yeah, you have 2 eclipses. They come within 13 days. It started with the lunar eclipse, right? And then you have another eclipse within 13 days. You have the story of Krishna hiding the sun, and that's your solar eclipse, right? So you have a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse following in 13 days. Now, if there is going to be an eclipse, and the eclipse was, and the war started, and he says his sun was in Scorpio. The sun is here. But the sun is there in November. So you have a month, you have a year now. The sun, every year in November, sun is in Scorpio. The sun was there. Saturn is opposite in Taurus. And you have an eclipse within 13 days. Now, what do you mean by an eclipse? That's a very interesting point. You see, once again, let's go to this diagram. Sorry guys, I'm giving an astronomy lesson. This is the Earth's orbit around the sun. Now the moon goes around the Earth. The moon's orbit around the sun, around the Earth is like this, right? So there are 2 points on which the moon's orbit around the Earth cuts the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Okay? There are 2 points on which the Moon's orbit around the Earth cuts the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Those 2 points are called North Node and South Node. In Sanskrit, they are our old friends, Rahu and Ketu. Okay? Everybody is afraid, Rahu, Ketu, nothing to be afraid of. It follows his sun. What does it mean? What it means is this. What it means is, Rahu and Ketu, the North Node and South Node, they are the 2 points where the Earth's orbit and the Moon's orbit overlap. What it means is, when the Earth, Rahu and Sun are in the straight line, naturally you will have an eclipse. You get either the Earth will come in between the Sun and the Moon, or the Moon will come in between the Sun and the Earth. North Node and South Node, exactly opposite, you get an eclipse. That's what they mean, Rahu is following the Sun. That's what it means. It just, Rahu is not even a planet, it's a point in space. It's North Node and South Node. So, now we have an incredible point. So they say it was an eclipse, which means Rahu was here, our friend Rahu was here, and Rahu and Ketu are obvious opposite, Ketu was there. Right? So now all of a sudden, you've brought down the years. Every 30 years, Saturn is in Taurus. Now you have another year in which Rahu is here and Ketu is there. Now Rahu and Ketu take 18 years to go around the Earth. So now you've got additional. Every 30 years, Saturn is there. Every 18 years, Rahu is here. Right? So, but now, Rahu should be here in November. That's one more filter you have. Rahu is there every 18 years, but not necessarily in November. So now you have a year in which Saturn was in Taurus, Rahu and Ketu are opposite there. Ketu is in Taurus, Rahu is in Scorpio in November, which means Sun should be there, and automatically if Sun is there and eclipse means Moon is in the opposite side, Moon is there. Okay? And in that year, in Mahabharata you say, there were 2 eclipses coming within 13 days. That is the clue. Because usually eclipses take at least 15 days. After lunar eclipse to come to this next solar eclipse, usually you take only 15 days. This year we had within 13 days. So that's why I think yesterday we had a Kurukshetra. Anyway, this year we have eclipse within 13 days. So Mahabharata war says we had 2 eclipses within we had 2 eclipses in 13 days. So now you brought it down. Now you have a year in which Saturn was in Taurus, Rahu is in Scorpio, Ketu naturally opposite side, Sun is in November there, naturally there, and you have eclipses within 13 days. Plus, Mars is retrograde. Okay? Plus, Mars is retrograde. Can there be a year in which all this is fitting? You understand? All this should fit into one particular year, right? Around 5,000 years ago. Is this possible? Yes, it is. When they put it in Stellarium software, previously there was no software to backtrack. Because basically, you need to know Kepler's laws. T square is proportional to A cube. And you have to solve complicated differential equations if you want to track the path of the planet now and backtrack and see where it was 5,000 years ago. It's impossible because it's extremely complicated differential equations you have to solve. And you should know Kepler's laws. But now they can do it with software. And they've done it. And it goes back beautifully and everything converges to 3067 BC. Now, one thing, but that's not the end of the story. In 3067 BC, there were 2 eclipses within 13 days. That is not the end of the story. Now I will tell you this. Further evidence is there. You see, Krishna is supposed to have gone on a peace mission. Do you understand? He went on a peace mission. He was in Indraprastha and he went to Hastinapura on a peace mission to ask Duryodhana for peace. So he's supposed to have started it on a Revati Nakshatram day. Vyasa says that. Krishna started on when moon was in Revati. So moon was in Revati here. Krishna took 2 days to go by horse to Hastinapura. Okay. Those days there was no metro. Delhi metro was not there. So he took 2 days to go by horseback. Okay, and Krishna acted as a human being. He didn't simply fly there. Okay, so he took a horse and he went there in 2 days. So he left on Revati. Next day is Ashwini. He landed there on Bharani. Revati, Ashwini, Bharani. Next day he landed there. He told Duryodhana, you see, make peace. Otherwise, you will let me war and all. Duryodhana said, get lost. I won't even give the land of a needle. Suji Munayal Nilay, I will not give land even with which is on the tip of a needle. So Krishna said, okay, in that case there is going to be a war, and he says in another 56 days or something, there is a war. Okay, so now you have an additional clue. Now you need a year in which you have a specific day, which is actually Nakshatra. Naturally, after 2 days it is Bharani. And 55 days after that, you have to have an eclipse. And 13 days after that, you have another eclipse. Plus Saturn should be in Taurus. And Rahu Ketu should collide like that with the Scorpio. And Sun should be in November. And Mars should be retrograde. Wow. Yes. September 26, 3067 BC. September 26. Note it down. September 26. You don't need to note it down, but I am telling you. September 26, 3067 BC was Revati Nakshatram day. 2 days afterward, automatically it's Bharani. 50, I forget the exact number. 53 days or something after that, there was an eclipse. 13 days after that, there is another eclipse. Saturn was in Taurus. Rahu Ketu was there, and Mars was retrograde. I am sorry, guys. There is too much evidence for this year. Whatever Vyasa has depicted in the heavens as telling, is telling Dhritarashtra. Every second day he is telling, I am seeing like this, I am seeing this. You make up, this is going to become a great war. This is very bad. You better wake up. You better do something about it. Dhritarashtra didn't do anything about it. Vyasa is telling, other sages are telling, then Vidura is telling. So many astronomical evidences there. They all tally. And you have a perfect year. When they put in software and you backtrack, it comes to 3067 BC. But is that the end of the story? That's not the end of the story. Vyasa also says, I see a copper-tailed comet in Pusha. Pusha is here, Cancer. I see, Tamra Shikau, he says, like copper, Shika is tail, copper-tailed comet. I see in Pusha, in constellation of Cancer, in the east. Again, that is a very bad sign. He tells Dhritarashtra. So now you have a year in which you should have a comet also in Pusha. Exactly, my friends. In 3067 BC, Halley's comet was in Pusha. Halley's comet comes once in 76 years around the earth, you see. Was in Pusha. Do you want more evidence? I can give you more evidence. Then in the Mahabharata, I'll change the marker. In the Mahabharata, one more thing is there. 36 years after the Mahabharata war, what happens? Tell me. Remember, Gandhari curses Krishna. In 36 years, just like my clan is destroyed, your clan is destroyed, she will curse Krishna. And 36 years later, in the Mahabharata is written, all this from the Mahabharata. Krishna is telling his friends, I see the same 2 eclipses within 13 years. I mean, within 13 days. I see, in a year, 2 days. 2 eclipses in 13 days. I see the same eclipse, two eclipses within 13 days, just like in the time of Mahabharata. It means a great calamity is going to come. He says that, and his clan gets destroyed. They fight among themselves and kill each other. Which means 3067 BC minus 36 years later, there should be a year in which there should be eclipse within 13 days. Yes or no? That's what it means. Exactly. So 3031, you have to count it down, right? BC. 3067 BC minus 3031 BC. Yes, there are 2 eclipses within 13 days. Sorry, my friends, it's too much evidence. Whatever Vyasa is saying, it is obvious that he is seeing the heavens and saying it, which means it happened. Either that, or if he is wrote it at a later time and backtracked in super guesswork, he must know Kepler's laws and he must know how to solve complicated differential equations. He should know T square is proportional to AQ. Either he knew Kepler's laws and had software with him or solved complicated differential equations, or he actually saw what is there and wrote it. Either way, you should believe it. That's proved. There is enough evidence, there is enough astronomical evidence for the Mahabharata, more than for Alexander the Great. But yet, we feel, and then, that is not the end of the story. You have Mathura, you have Indraprastha, you have the work that they left behind. The Bhagavad Gita is there. Okay, you have the history of kings, you have the kingdoms, you have the map of India, you have the route from Kandahar to here. You have the entire history, you have the kingdoms, you have Pragjodisha, that was in Assam. Pragjodisha in Assam. They say the king, there was a story called Narakasura and Krishna killed Narakasura. Narakasura was the king of Assam. He was not some mythical netherworld character. Pragjodisha Pura it's called. It is in Assam. I went to Guwahati, IIT Guwahati. It's called Pragjyotishapura. They have that, it's called Pragjyotishapura because they have 12 zodiac temples in perfect angles to each other. That's why it's called Jyotishapura. So it's Pragjyotishapura, it dates from the Mahabharata time. It tallies perfectly. My friends, you have the Gita, you have contemporary evidence, you have Vyasa, just as you have, what is your name? Smaran, I keep forgetting. Smaran, I am forgetting. Wonderful. Okay. Just as you have Smaran giving contemporary evidence for Hari, right? Or for me. You have contemporary evidence. Vyasa is saying, yes, there is a person called Krishna. He is doing all this. There is this Yudhishthira. There is this, so this happening. He gives you astronomical evidence. He gives you geographical evidence. He gives you literary evidence. He gives you the work left behind. And he gives you the influence it has had on India for 5,000 years. And yet we say it is false. Nonsense. It is absolutely true. Now, if Mahabharata is considered to be a legend, then my friends, you should consider Alexander the Great as also legend. Akbar is also legend. But if you consider Alexander or Akbar history, you have to consider Mahabharata as history because there is equal amount of evidence. That's it. I am not saying Mahabharata really happened. All I am trying to say is there is as much evidence for the Mahabharata as there is for Alexander the Great or Akbar, or if not more. Therefore, if you say that is history, my dear sir, this is history. I have had my country 5,000 years calling it Itihasa. Who the hell are you to come and tell me it is legend? It is Itihasa, it is history. Why is it so important to consider Mahabharata as history? Because you should know that the root of Mahabharata is dharma. The root of Mahabharata is dharma, values to which you hold on to. How a king should live, how the subject should be given more importance than oneself, what a king should do to serve society, what you should do in the face of evil. You should stand up and fight, not go away. People criticize Vedanta as being something in which your eyes are closed and you neglect the world and you sit in the Himalayas, it's something inaction. Is Bhagavad Gita about inaction? No, it's all about action, but it's about right action. It's about the right attitude to action. Krishna is telling Arjuna how to fight, not to win. Arjuna knows that he can win. 1 day, 2 days or whatever before the Mahabharata war, single-handedly he drove away the Kauravas. If you read the Mahabharata, it's a story. They come to steal the cows from the kingdom, which Uttara's king. What's the name of the kingdom? I forget. Virata. They are in Ajnatavasa, they are in disguise in Virata. And Duryodhana comes to capture the cows and Arjuna single-handedly drives away the entire Kaurava army in disguise. So, Arjuna is completely capable of extinguishing the entire Kaurava army single-handed. The fellow has, so I shouldn't say fellow, great man. He has the Brahmastra, Pasu, ICBM, Tejas, missile, everything with him. Okay, he has all that. Brahmastra, Pasupatastra, everything he has. He can single-handedly destroy. Then why is he worried? He is not, why did he put his bow down and say, I can't fight? Not because he is worried he will lose. No, Arjuna is worried he will win. Arjuna is worried that he will win, but in the process I will kill all these people. I will kill my grandfather, my cousins. Is that correct? Is it dharma? Yes, nishchitam bruhi. Karpanya dosho pragata svabhava pasyami dharma sammoda cheta. I do not know what is dharma. Tell me what is dharma, oh Krishna, tell me. So that is the importance of Mahabharata. Not, it doesn't tell us how to succeed in an external life. It tells us how to succeed in an internal life. How to live your life in such a way that not only you have external success, but you have internal success. Because without dharma, without the roots of ethics, without morality, without dharma, the country will not prosper. That's why the very first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, people don't give much importance. Arjuna is throwing his bow down and he is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The grief of his, the yoga of his grief. It's still called yoga because there are some good points there. He proves that he is unselfish. He's saying, Krishna, I know I will win. But I know I will have this kingdom. But what is the use of having the kingdom which kills all these people? Are politicians thinking that way? They are dividing this country on caste. They are looting millions and millions and millions and millions, billions of dollars. How much scam we had? The number of zeros is running out of the newspaper. Right? Is anybody thinking for the country? Are we thinking about the country? How many of us think what we should do for India? We all have our own plans for our own life. How many of us think this is what I want to do for my country? This is the way I want to serve my community. This is the way I need to stand up for morality. If every Indian thinks that way, do you think India will have a problem? India is one of the most brilliant countries on earth. Never was there any other country like this, sustaining a civilization of 5,000 years or more, producing sciences, art, history, philosophy in every field. But yet, why are we suffering today? Because of the apathy of the Indian. We are not putting country above our roots, above our religion, above our community. We should put country's progress. That's exactly what Arjuna was doing. Which is why he was fit for the Bhagavad Gita. See, if Arjuna said, I'll just go and fight, I don't care, let me kill all those people, I just want a kingdom. Krishna won't be his charioteer. Remember the very story of how Arjuna got Krishna as a charioteer. Krishna offered him a choice. Either you have my army, okay, with all its weapons, or you have me, unaffected, unarmed. Arjuna chose Krishna. What is the meaning? Right now we have a choice. Either we take this world with all its enjoyments, or we have Krishna. What will we choose? Those who choose the world get destroyed. Those who choose Krishna win. What do you mean by Krishna? Krishna is Dharma. Krishna is the higher self. Krishna is Satya. Krishna is Dharma. Those who choose Dharma, ethics, morality, who put the general good above their own good will win. Those who put their own good above other people's good, those who base their lives on selfishness will get destroyed. Because this whole universe, you are biotech students, you know, it's based on symbiosis, correct? Isn't our design is on symbiosis? Yes, one species needs another species to live. Yes, every species understands that except the human being. We are thinking that we can destroy our house and still be happy in it. We are destroying the planet today. 40% of the forests have been burnt up. The rivers are polluted. The oceans are polluted. The atmosphere is polluted. Or if you take the cereal box in USA or any other box and read the back ingredients, it looks like a periodic table. Monosodium, glutamate, this thing, that thing, potassium, phosphorus. Or I don't want to eat it. It's like I don't want to go to the chemistry lab and eat the chemicals there. That's exactly what is processed and given to you. We are losing touch with nature. We have become corrupt. We have forgotten to put the country above ourselves. That's why we are suffering. That's why the Bhagavad Gita ends with a fantastic statement. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Means, Sanjay say, where there is a Yogeshwara Krishna, where there is Krishna, Yogeshwara, the Lord of Yoga. Yoga means union with God, union with the right thing. Where there is Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, where there is Arjuna, the wielder of the bow, means action. Where there is grace and action together, man and God together, manliness and godliness together, Purushartha and grace together. Where there is Krishna, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, where the two elements come together, there, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruva Niti, there is Shri Vijaya. There is success, there is Shri, auspiciousness, there is Dhruva Niti, fixed justice. Matir Mama, that is my opinion, that's what Sanjaya tells. The Bhagavad Gita starts with Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetra. What happens? The first word of Bhagavad Gita is Dharma. The last word of Bhagavad Gita is Mama. The entire Bhagavad Gita is sandwiched between these two words. Mama Dharma, my Dharma. That is what you need to know. The entire essence of the Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita. The essence of the Bhagavad Gita is Dharma, your Dharma. What is your Dharma? What is your Dharma? You have several Dharmas. As a student, your Dharma is to study. As a son, your Dharma is to serve, or a daughter, your Dharma is to serve your parents. As a citizen of the state, your Dharma is to serve others. As a human being, your Dharma is towards the world, towards nature. As an Indian, your Dharma is towards India. But we all, 95% of us, think of only ourselves. We have forgotten our Dharma. In our attempt to win in the rat race, we have forgotten Dharma. Problem with winning in the rat race, a very beautiful book Amma Swami has written, a very nice sentence, it came to me. I really like that sentence, I want to quote it. He says, the problem with winning in the rat race is that you are still a rat. The end of winning in the rat race is you're still a rat. That's the problem. You don't become a human being. You see, that is the essence of the Mahabharata. So, first of all, that is why the British were desperate to tell you it's a legend. Because if you have a country which is standing up for Dharma, which stands up for country above ourselves, they cannot beat you. The entire way in which the conquerors conquered India is through treason. You had some Indians doing, the battle of Plassey, battle of Plassey, everywhere. You had somebody backsacking somebody else, somebody fighting each other. It's very easy for outside fellow to come and control you fighting with each other. But if you are a united whole, if you have Dharma above you, okay, automatically you get strength. Automatically you are standing up for something far greater than you. Nobody can touch you. So the Westerners understood the only way to conquer this country is remove their sense of Dharma. So they removed it very well. And we cooperated beautifully. Yes, here take it. They are now studying Sanskrit and our scriptures. We are neglected. We don't know. And the end result is, instead of being one of the world's richest countries to which everybody, why did the British come to India? Why did the invaders come to India? Was it because we are an impoverished nation with 400 million under poverty line? No, it's because we were the richest nation on earth. Why were we the richest nation on earth? We were the richest nation on earth when we followed Dharma. Why is Japan so high now? They follow Dharma. They are very patriotic. Good. Swami Vivekananda says, for patriotism you have to take the Japanese. He says that. The Indian, Winston Churchill says, the problem with you Indians, you are selfish. You don't put India above yourself. Exactly what's happening. Go and see. In Japan, when the tsunami struck, and then after there was a refugee camp, there is a single line of people. You see, 6 months before the tsunami struck, 6 months before you see, tsunami is a beautiful city. Day after tsunami, nothing is there, wiped out. 6 months after, the entire city is back. Amazing rebuilding. And you know how in the tsunami refugee camp, they give towels, soap, etc. The Japanese come in a single line. They come, they bow down. They will see how many are there behind, and they will take only one towel or one soap. They bow down and they go away. Here you try that. You put 3 towels you give. The first fellow will take 100 run. Before you know it's gone. And they are not even and they are not even the victims. They are not even the victims. That was so sad. When the tsunami happened, I'll tell you this. Amma cried when she heard this. When the tsunami happened and people are dying on the beach, there were others to come and steal the chain from the person who's dying on the beach. Yeah, it happened. How sad. Who is putting country above themselves? That is why we need to go back to our roots. That is why we should go back to... It may not be possible for us to read the entire Mahabharata. Agreed. It is possible, but very difficult. But we should read the Bhagavad Gita. We should. As an Indian, we should. At least we should understand it is true. Ramayana is true too. They have same amount of evidence there. This is something we need to know. Okay. Huh? If you want, I'll tell you a story. Otherwise, we'll open up it. Story? Okay, I'll tell you a story. It's a very, very beautiful story. It's a story. It's in the Mahabharata. You see, I told you, the side stories of Mahabharata are even more interesting than the main Mahabharata itself. That's for me. The story about a mongoose. Mongoose. I mean, you know what a mongoose is, right? What do you call a mongoose in Malayalam? Kiri, exactly. But there's a very interesting mongoose. It was golden. One half of it was golden. Okay? So after the Mahabharata war, listen to this story carefully. After the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira does one yagam. Okay? One big yagam in which he's putting various sacrificing and all that stuff. And he's very proud. He's won the war. And he's not proud actually. He's sad that he had to fight the war, but he's very proud of the yagam. And the Pandavas also are very proud that the yagam was so great. So many things were offered. Some gold and silk and this and that and all the demonetized currency, everything was offered into the money, in the fire. They are all extremely happy about it. Okay? And they are very happy. They think that this yagam is so great. Now Krishna is there. See, it's very dangerous when your ego increases when Krishna is around. He will find a nice way to puncture it. And it's an exact experience we have near Amma. If your ego increases too much, you will suddenly find a nice prick is coming. Look, the balloon will be burst. Same thing. So it's very dangerous to think I am very great in front of Krishna. Very, very, very dangerous. Anyway, Krishna saw, oh, these people are a bit too proud of themselves. Okay, let's see. Then what happened? One mongoose came in that Yagashala. Half of the mongoose was golden. Half of the mongoose was golden. You biotech fellows, please figure out how it's possible. Half of the mongoose was golden, other half was normal, black or brown. And it rolled on the floor, up and down, it rolled back and forth on the floor, wherever the offerings were made. And then it said, "Chee, what a stupid sacrifice. Not even one hair is golden." And it cursed the sacrifice. What a stupid sacrifice you people are doing. Useless thing you people are doing. And Yudhishthira and others were stunned. So what is this? This is such a great sacrifice. So much demonetized currency was offered in the fire. So many elephants and horses. So much gold. This and that was put. How can you say that this is bad? Then the mongoose said, you think this is a sacrifice? I'll tell you what a sacrifice is. And he said, I am coming from a village in Rajasthan, the desert. There is a very poor family. A Brahmin priest, his wife, his son and a daughter-in-law, they are living. They live on alms. They don't have money. They live very little. But whoever comes to their house, they will try to feed that person very well. One day, it was God apparently trying to test them. He came as a mendicant and stood outside the door. Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, give me some food, I am hungry. Immediately, but that time, many days had passed since the family had eaten anything. That day, with great difficulty, the poor man had collected some food, a little bit of rice or marble, and made some rice or something, and he had brought it from flour. He had some flour and brought it for cooking, just for the four of them. If they didn't eat it, they would die. But that day, that moment, this man, this mendicant comes outside and says, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, give me food to eat, I am hungry. You know, in India, you don't turn away a guest. Atithi Devo Bhava, they say. Right. Acharya Devo Bhava. You should tell your friends in the other campus also. Acharya Devo Bhava. Forget it. Okay. Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo. You know that. Treat your mother as God, treat your father as God, treat the guest as God. Atithi. Why is Atithi? Why is guest called Atithi? Do you know? Tithi means time. Atithi means not in time, unexpectedly. If somebody arrives unexpectedly at your door, you shouldn't curse her. No, you shouldn't say, whose idiot has come now. No. Even he is supposed to be considered as God. That is our culture. Atithi, the person who suddenly appears on our doorstep, is welcomed as God. Those days, they used to say, welcome, welcome, welcome as God. Now what do you say outside? Beware of dog. There is no dog inside. Still they say beware of dog. Because we bark more than the dog. So we are the dog barking. Don't step inside. Okay, anyway, that's our concept. But what happens is, so this man comes, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, and comes. So the father feels very sad and he gives up his share of the food for the mendicant. He knows he's going to die because that's it. But still the mendicant is not satisfied. Then the wife says, no, let me give my share also. Then the father says, no, you should not. How will you do? You will die if you are already so weak. If you do this, you will die. I have to take care of you. How can I allow you to take it? And she says, no, my dharma is to support you in whatever you do. Okay? How can I just let you suffer away yourself? I should also suffer with you. And she gives her share. The mendicant eats. Still he is not satisfied. He is God. He has come to test him. Then the son comes up and says, my dad and mom, your suffering is my suffering. How can I let just you both suffer and me alone eat happily? It's not possible. Compared to the present day sons and daughters, just compare it. I tell so many stories are there I don't even want to say. Okay? Look at the number of people who put their mom in an old age home. Then on Mother's Day they will call, Mom, I love you. Oh really? On Mother's Day they one day. That is a duty to the mother nowadays. Anyway, leave that. So the son says, no, it's my duty, I won't let you. You both can't starve and I should eat alone. No, he gives his share also. Then the daughter-in-law comes and says, still the mendicant is not satisfied. Daughter-in-law comes and says, no, I will give my share. Then all the three of them cry and say, how can you? You are a daughter from another house. We are supposed to take care of you. How can we do like this? Then she says, I am from another house, but my dharma is to be with you. Should I eat when all of you are suffering? No, I will give my portion also. And she gives her portion to the mendicant. The mendicant is finally satisfied. He leaves. Those four die that day owing to starvation. But they instantaneously reach God. Because as sacrifice, God appears in front of them and takes them. They merge in God on that day. So the mongoose says, I was there watching this sacrifice. And after they merged, some grains on the floor were scattered. Something which they gave to the mendicant was scattered on the floor. So I just happened to go there to nibble on the grains. I rolled on the grains. Wherever my body touched the grains, it became golden. Whichever part of my body touched those scattered grains, it became golden. Such a great sacrifice it was. After that time, I have been going around India looking for another equivalent sacrifice. I haven't found it. I came here thinking the great Histroy is doing. But see, not even one hair is golden. And he cursed and went away. Then Yudhishthira and others realized what is the real meaning of sacrifice. What do you mean by selfless giving? One of the most beautiful stories of the Mahabharata, you see, the story of the golden monks.